we circle prospect, we're not just doing phone calls. If we have the contact information in emails, we can be emailing out all of these just listed, just sold open house advertisements to the neighborhood as well too. So and that's free to send emails, so long as we've bought the contact information. And like I said, the cost isn't that much relative to all the marketing and touches you can do. So if we are underlying that with emails, we can also send out mailers. Again, mailers take some time and they cost some money, so we can't do quite as many mailers. Maybe we just do just listed, open house, and just sold. But if we're sending emails, or we could even do a coming soon, a just listed, an open house, maybe another open house if we have time to have 2 of them before it sells, a sale pending, and under contract, and a just sold. So lots of emails can go out that show a lot of activity. The more activity we show, the more, the harder we work. It also shows success. It shows through that process, wow, look at how hard they market it, and then it kind of brags, look, we got it sold. And it shows that it works. And they oftentimes, they start seeing all this and they start to think you're selling more than one house here. That's all for just one house. They start to see all this activity back and forth. All of a sudden it's like, wow, this guy's really successful. They forget that it's all the same house because they don't pay as close attention as you do. So they all of a sudden start to think you are the expert for that neighborhood, even though we're just talking about one listing you took in there. And understand, this is why it's very important. I'm going to do a little sidebar here. If you're a new real estate agent, if you just got your license, that's why I like doing this just listed, just marketing activity or circle prospecting actually to your sphere of influence, because even though you know all these people and they trust you, they also know you're new to real estate. So if you are able to actually email all the people in your SOI multiple times, just listed, sale pending, or excuse me, open house, sale pending, under contract, sold, and we send them a few mailers and some emails, maybe even some phone calls about it, what ends up happening is they start to really quickly, you do 2 of those with 2 different houses, they think you've sold 8 houses. And all of a sudden you're tearing it up and you're talking to these guys and like, wow, you're really on fire, man. And all of a sudden you're a successful agent. So they are not resistant to using you as a new agent because you're inexperienced. All of a sudden they see you're on fire. So they forget that you're new instantaneously, and you add like 10 years of experience in the matter of months just because you are showing your work. It also shows how hard you work to sell property and shows that it's working as well too. So if you're up against that as a real estate agent and you hear about and you're trying to get listings and maybe farm a neighborhood or even get one particular listing, and it's well known that this agent's going to unleash their machine of marketing with emails and mailers. You can even drop off flyers, hand delivered on doorsteps too. They kind of stand out if you're in an area that promotes that, and it doesn't cost much. You don't have to do postage, and they stand out because people pick them up. They throw them away, but at least they look at them. They don't get lost in bulk mail. So flyers can work very well as well too, as long as weather permits. City sign ordinances or flyer ordinances permit, and you can solicit in that neighborhood. HOA rules permit. Slip them under doormats or put them in door handles so they're secure and they don't blow away. That can be a nightmare. So all these different ways we can touch that neighborhood. We can even use things like slide broadcast and slide dial to really, especially if we're going to promote an open house, you can just pre-record a message that goes straight to everybody's voice message in the neighborhood. Again, we have to have their cell phone numbers to say, hey, just a reminder, it's our neighbor's only open house this weekend, Saturday from 9 o'clock to noon. All neighbors are welcome. We're really trying to get this home sold, and we ultimately find the purchaser of a neighborhood as a friend, family member, acquaintance, or somebody that already lives in the neighborhood. I would say that slower. However, as that goes, as that's marketing around, it's like a marketing machine where people start to say, wow, man, these guys really hustle. So again, it's the system behind it. It's just not doing one phone call trying to strike for gold. The more systemized we can get with their contacts, again, it's going to take a CRM, it's going to take some organization, it's going to take some discipline, it's going to take some calendaring. But if we can unleash this system and make these regular parts of your listing to contract and contract to close checklists, so that if you list a property, there's actually, hey, start making just listed phone calls. It's not just a bunch of transactional work. We weave in some marketing and lead generation work in your listing to contract checklist. All of a sudden what can happen is we can unleash a wave of marketing around every listing we take. So our business servicing actually starts to turn into marketing as well too. And guess what? That's what your home sellers want. So we're reaching out and making all these contacts over time around these properties. And if you're competing with these teams or other agents that are doing this, it makes it very tough because it actually shows the neighbors the activity. They're receiving all these communications. And next thing you know, it's, Hey honey, there's that guy's open house sign again. Yeah, he just called me last week. Yeah, we got an email about it too. Did you get a slide? I got a slide out of this, but this guy hustles, man. Are we sure you want to list with your aunt that's an agent? I mean, does she even sell much? This guy really works. So if all these neighbors that are thinking about selling in the next year are starting to think of you and they're impressed with you and they see it. And boy, I'll tell you, you've really arrived if you've taken a circle prospecting listing client that is hiring you because they've seen your effort. They've heard your phone calls. It's probably the best listing appointment to take. Farmers experience it too. Because they're hiring you not because of a social relationship, which is a little bit of social peer guilt. They feel obligated to you as a friend, so they use you. But that doesn't mean they're going to listen to you on price and very difficult objections. When they hire you because they admire how hard you work, they know you're the expert. So you basically say, no, it needs to be listed for this, and they'll listen to you because they don't need to hear your marketing materials. They've received them. They've experienced it. So when you walk into that listing appointment, you're almost like a celebrity, and they respect you for your career, not just the social relationship.